Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a good break. We're going to we were able to find the maintenance crew. We got the room cooled down for you, so we're good to go. We got last chapter. We spoke about using Unix and just getting started with using the command line. Now there are a lot of tools available in Unix so that we can actually manage our files. One of the most important tools is VI. So for those of you that have used VI before, or haven't used it, this isn't 6. This isn't the Roman numeral 6, this is VI. It stands for the Visual Editor. We'll go into a little bit more detail about how this works. Now, how many of you have used a tool like Microsoft Word or OpenOffice before? All right, okay. This is not like that. This is a plain text tool, all right? It's very raw. And does anyone know what the difference is between what Microsoft Office or OpenOffice does to text versus what happens with a tool like VI?
Is it like Notepad? It doesn't really provide formatting?
There you go. It doesn't provide formatting. If you want a tool for underlining, VI is not the one. If you want a tool for italics, VI is not the one. And so why would you want to use a tool like this? Well, as a systems administrator, you're going to be getting a lot of different types of log files and data files and program files that you have to look at, and you're going to use VI to look at those. This is really a very great tool for that. So for those that have, how many of you have used VI before? If you've got up, how many of you hate VI? Everybody said, yeah, exactly. It's a tough tool to learn. Once you get it, it's a very powerful tool. And so even though it doesn't provide a lot of formatting, you're going to see that's a very powerful tool for us. So we're going to cover how to enter VI and exit from it. And then we're going to talk about 3 different modes. One is command mode. Command mode is the first mode you get into when you enter a VI session. The next one is insert mode, which we're going to talk about later on. And we'll talk about last line mode as well. We're going to learn how to move the cursor. Now, with tools like Microsoft Office and OpenOffice, you have how do you move the cursor in tools like that? A mouse or arrow keys will work, right? Well, VI was invented before mice and arrow keys were. Is it mice or mouses? Is it decided yet? Mice. Okay, mices. All right. So VI was invented before the mouse was created or the arrow keys. So we're going to use a little different method. Hopefully you took high school typing, because this is going to help shortly. We're also going to show you how to delete text, and then we're going to give the philosophy of VI at the end. So VI, we can talk about this for hours. There's a lot here. We've only got about 20 minutes because we've got another speaker coming in, a special speaker to talk about some advanced Unix techniques that I brought in. So we'll go ahead, we'll stop here with just the basics. We've got the next chapter which gets more into the advanced VI techniques. All right, now what I've done on your systems, I've installed a program that will help you get into VI called Sigwin. And I want you to go to your monitors. I'm going to check just to make sure you guys are coming along fine. Double click on Sigwin. It's on your desktop. How are you doing there? Yeah, just double click that. Good. Right there. That'll bring up a Unix shell. Got it? All right, good. All right. And who remembers how to list the files in our system?
LS.
LS, all right. Type in LS and hit enter. Very good. What files do you see there?
2 files. Memo.txt and system.log.
All right. We want to first edit the file called memo.txt. So type in VI space memo.txt like I have here on the slide. And I'll bring up my version in a minute, but I want to make sure that everyone, good. Yeah, hit the enter key after you type it in. Good. All right, great. You've got, we have a memo there that's just for Mr. Jones. At the bottom of your file, you'll see you have little tildes. Those are unused lines. Now, if we make any changes in this file, at this point, nothing happens. Nothing, it's just stored in a temporary buffer. the changes don't save until we get into last line mode. So to get into last line mode, you're going to select the colon. Go ahead, press the colon, and what happens there?
Right, colon at the bottom.
Colon at the bottom, which appears to be the last what? Last line. All right, that's why it's called last line mode. All right. Now there are dozens of options. There are dozens of tasks we can perform here, but what we're going to do is just we have several options. We can do WQ to write and quit, or W to write our changes without quitting, or Q bang. Anyone hear that term before, the bang term? Why do you think we say bang in Unix, in the Unix world?
We like brevity and exclamation point takes too long.
Yeah, exclamation point takes too long to say. So you'll hear Q bang, and so I want you to exit without making changes. And so we're going to do what to do that?
Q bang.
Q bang. So colon Q bang. All right. And I just want to make sure everyone's out. Everyone. Sometimes when I teach this, some people have trouble with the colon versus the semicolon. All right. And how are you doing there, sir? Very good. Excellent. Beautiful. All right. Do a listing again. Type in ls, and let's take a look at our files. And now I want to take a look at a larger file. And we're going to look at system.log. Go ahead, type in vi space system.log. And this is probably more realistic of the types of files you're going to work with when you work with VI. You'll get log data, especially as a systems administrator. How many of you are looking for hackers? Maybe trying to break into your system? Yeah. What kind of...
Be a hacker? Or?
He says he wants to be a hacker. All right. So this will, you can use this to analyze the data that comes in from those tools. Like, what kind of tools are you using for network hackers? What do you guys use to see who's hacking your system? I've heard of a couple.
Wireshark.
Wireshark, for example, will leave a lot of log files. Anyone else use Wireshark? How do you like that tool? Anyone else use anything else? NetStumbler, good. All right. And so a lot of them have their own GUI environments to look at the data, but VI can be a tool to be used as well. All right. Everybody get it okay? All right, good.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now we have the log file there, and to move the cursor through the system, first try using the mouse. Okay. All right. Now this is an improved version of VI. The arrow keys will actually work here, but in older versions they don't work. And so if you end up working on a system that's much older, a lot of companies I know out there are still running on mainframes, aren't they? Right. So knowing the arrow keys is going to be really important here. How to move the cursor around. All right. Press the L key. What happens to the cursor? Moves to the right. Okay. This is the only language where L was right. Yeah. Those guys love VI. Yeah. H moves which direction? All right. So I mentioned earlier about the high school typing. Who took typing in high school? All right. You rest your right hand where?
On JKL.
JKL semicolon, right?
Yeah.
And so to press the H key, you take your index finger. So if you're resting your right hand on JKL semicolon, to get to the H key, you have to move the index finger which direction? To the left, all right? So that's how you remember the left direction. And the L, it's not because it's L, it's because it's always to the right. That's how you remember the right direction. J jumps down, and then K goes, is the last one left that goes up. All right? Now, I want you to experiment with that just a little bit and get a feel for it. So try using the L key, press the L key 5 times, and then the J key. Let's see how you're doing here. Where's your cursor? Oh, there it is. Okay, all right, good. Okay. All right, now this program is just for, very good. Okay, this one is just for practice, so we're going to go ahead and make some changes here. To move half a screen down, we use Control D, and then to move up half a screen, you're going to use Control U. And feel free to try that. Does everyone? I know every now and then I get people that haven't used the Control key before. Anyone not used that before? You've got to. The way this works is you've got to press the Control key, which is on the left of your keyboard, lower left, and then D. And they got to be held down at the same time. All right, so you don't, and it's not necessarily going like this, but just press Control and then the D key, and then press Control and the U key. As long as they're both down at the same time, we'll scroll down half the screen, and scroll up half the screen. Now, there are some ways in this file that we can search through it. And the way that happens is another form of last line mode, and that's the slash, which will search forward, or the question mark, which will search backwards. So let's try doing the search on just type in slash space RE. And Brandy, when you do that, where does the slash key go?
Jumped up to somewhere that has RE.
Yeah, all right, found the RE in the match. To go next, press letter N. All right, now what happens when you press uppercase N?
Goes back.
Goes backwards, all right? So pretty cool little ways to go forward and backwards with a search. To do a reverse search, you can do a question mark and then whatever you're searching for. Now, because Unix is case sensitive, will it find the capital RE? No. All right. So it's only going to do search, look for this exact case. So you'll have to, if you want to find uppercase or lowercase, you actually have to spell it out. There are some other ways to do it, but for now, you have to tell it whether or not you want to be uppercase or lowercase. We can also move to different line numbers. Now here we go. Go back into which mode again?
Last line.
Last line, all right. So colon, and then for whatever line number you want to go to, type that in and hit enter. Does that take you to line number? Does this take you to line number 5, for example?
Yes.
All right. Good. Super. Now in the Unix world, the $sign always means the last of something, like the end of the line or the bottom of a file. So if you want to go to the last line of a file, you got two choices. You can always memorize how many lines you have and say colon line number. That's not too convenient, is it? You know? Or you can just say colon and $sign, and then I'll get you to the last line.
How do we get to the top line?
How do you get to the top line? Who can answer that? How do you get to the top line? Up, 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 up. All right. So press. You can either press what which K goes up, right?
Climb up.
Or climb up. I like that. Good. K for climb up. Or
Control U.
Control U several times. There's a way to do it in colon mode. How do you get to the first line?
Colon 1.
Colon 1. Very good. All right.
Beautiful.
All right. So that's how we move the cursor around. Now, so we've talked about moving the cursor around. We've talked about command mode and searching. We haven't changed any text yet, have we? We haven't updated the file at all. All right, so we're going to do this by getting to insert mode. There are several ways to get into insert mode. We're showing just 4 here. I will insert before the cursor. A will append after the cursor. O will open a new line below. Upper O will open a new line above. So let's see. Why don't we try? You guys can look at each other's systems. Why don't you use I and start typing? You use A and start typing. You use O and start typing. And same in the back row. And just look at each other's terminals so you can see the differences between inserting with I, A, or O. Now we're inside insert mode. We always start in command mode, and the way to get back into command mode is pressing the escape key. So once you finish typing all you want, press escape, and then it'll get you back into command mode. All right, so H, J, K, and L then will work again, for example. Or Control G and Control U will work again. Now, if we want to save our changes, what are we going to type in? Who remembers? Colon W. Very good. Good. Colon W. Very good. Now, it's nice to be able to, in editors, to be able to delete text as well, right? And we can do that several different ways. Again, in VI, we're just going to talk about a few. So, you can use the X key. Go ahead and hit X several times. What happens there, Ray, when you hit that X key? You're up. All right, let's take a look.
Go down the line.
Go down with J. All right, hit escape and get back into command mode. And now go down, hit the J key, go down with X several times. Yeah, now hit, yeah, right there. Good. How's everybody else doing? Anyone else? You doing okay there, Brandy? Stuck? All right, let's take a quick look. All right, so what you're going to do, you'll hit escape, and then you'll press the K key, go up, climb up. All right, good. You're back in insert mode, so you set the X key, ended up putting in a lot of text. There we go, good. And for yours, hit escape, we'll hit K to the left. All right. We'll take a look. We'll go ahead and get you out. Let's get out all together and just start you all over because it's I can see when you'll say vi space system.log. All right. Now try. I want you to try a couple other ones. Try DD. What does DD do?
Delete the line.
Deletes a line. Try YY, and then press the P key several times. What happens when you press that? So how did that go for you, Nikki?
I have many inserted lines now.
Many inserted lines that look the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
YY will copy a line and P will paste it. D will also delete the line. You can do P to paste as well. There's a single stack undo. Press the U key. What happens?
It comes back.
It comes back. All right. So there is an undo feature available. So to summarize, as you can see, VI is an older tool. It's a little bit harder to learn, not so user-friendly, but once you have it, it's very powerful. Once you learn it, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to really pick it up if you're using it heavily. It's found as standard, it's found on all Unix systems. Other programs aren't going to be on all Unix systems. I know some people heard of programs like Emacs or GVim. They're not going to always be there. It's also portable. So if you have an older system that doesn't have arrow keys, you've got one of those VT100 terminals back there. Okay, all right. Don't know arrow keys, but HJKNL will work for you. It's reliable, so even if your graphical environment fails, VI will still work, even without a GUI. Everyone's heard of GUIs before? GUIs, yeah. And it's fast. Once you become experienced at it, you'll find it's faster than even Microsoft Office. Yeah.
Is it the size of the executable? Is it small as well, or is it?
Yep. So it doesn't take a lot of space. It doesn't take on your drive at all. Yep. Perfect. Yep. So he's asking, is the size of the executable small? And so it doesn't take a large footprint at all on your system. Even inside of memory, it's not going to take that much space. So we get into VI by using the VI command. How do we exit out of VI? So for review, how do we exit out of VI?
Q or Q-bang?
Yep, colon Q or Q-bang, good, or colon W or WQ, right? All right. We're initially in which mode?
Command.
Very good. And to move the cursor, we're going to use, if we just want to move the cursor one space at a time, you'll use which keys? H, J, K, or L. All right. And then to insert text, what are our options?
I, A, O, and capital O.
There, you're right, good. And then to delete text, DD or X. Good.
Yeah.
That's good. And to undo,
U.
U. All right. And finally, we talked about the VI philosophy, and it's very portable and has a lot, very portable, very flexible. So I want to say thank you for your time. We'll look at your system, Brandy. And are there any other quick questions before we bring on the next speaker? All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll see you guys. We'll cover the next chapter after the other speaker's done. Take care.
Thank you.